Well, good morning and welcome to the Underhood Show. My name is Josh Profit. Alongside me this morning is Scotty Gurman. Good morning, Scotty. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great.
Good. So, hey, thank you very much for filling in for us. Phil is actually live on location today, but we're doing a event track tech inspection event for racetracks across the country, so that the tech officials can class for them to be able to better tech race cars. So, but hey, we've got a great show this morning, so by all means, please stay with us. And we've got a couple of I've got a couple of topics up my sleeve. Yeah, I've got a couple of topics up my sleeve that I think it's going to make it a very, very interesting show for sure. Good. So, first of all, we'll get out of the way. Hey, this is a call-in show. I didn't do a very good job of getting the phone number up there on the board, but I'll get it up there for everybody to call in. But the phone number 316-462-3673. That's the number to jump on the air here with us. And again, it is anything automotive. You want to talk about vehicle, brakes, tires, steering, suspension, safety-related items, got a check engine light, something along those lines. By all means, give us a call here. Again, 316-462-3673. That's the number to jump on the air here with us. And again, talk about anything automotive that we need to discuss. Yep. We're here to help you out, get you pointed in the right direction, and to been known to give away a diagnostic package here and there for callers that call in and let's say stump us. Or, sometimes you just gotta be able to experience it or feel it firsthand in order to be able to figure out exactly what's going on with it. So, but again, 316-462-3673. That's the number to jump on the air here with us and talk about anything you want to talk about automotive related. So, and for each and every caller that calls in, we send out a package, mail out a package to you, but it's going to consist of the works, which is an oil change and tire rotation. We use Motorcraft oil and filter products here at Hambelton Ford. While we're performing that, we're going to complete a multi-point inspection on the vehicle, checking over the brakes, tires, steering, suspension, all the safety-related components on that vehicle, making sure that it's geared up and ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving. You'll also receive yourself $10 to Mel's Diner so you can get yourself something to eat and drink while you're here with us at the Big Corner. Complete nitrogen for your vehicle tires so you get all the great benefits that nitrogen has to offer. And then a BG products package, which consists of a can of MOA or motor oil additive for your engine oil. And then CF5 for your fuel system, again, just to get that vehicle geared up and ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving. So, hey, let's get the phones ringing, 316-462-3673. So, as I said before, and I've got questions, either you can post it in the chat or you can give us a call and talk about it. But we're going to start the show off with so decisions that you have made specifically when purchasing or not even purchasing, but going through the process of purchasing a vehicle that were maybe not we took let's say the cool route instead of the practical route.
Oh,
so the dad that has the family with 4 kids and they're looking at minivans, but he's over kicking the tires on the Mustang, that kind of thing. Or the soccer mom that, is looking at an Explorer, but going more towards a Bronco, Bronco or something along those lines. So if you have an experience of that yourself or when I bought that, it was really what I wanted, but it maybe not was the most practical thing. So if you have a story to share with us, by all means, please do so. Again, 316-462-3673. That's the number to jump on the air here with us and reach out to us. I was trying to get, I'm not sure where it went.
That's all right.
Phone number up here. So we'll repeat it a couple times throughout the show. And then, just so you can have it. 36.
You know what blows me away though?
What's that?
It's February, man.
Oh yeah, I cannot believe we are already to February. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, January went by so fast. 24 went by so fast. It just felt like it was a flash. And then we're already in January. We got Valentine's Day coming up. And so it's yeah, and I think like next week the weather's going to be somewhat decent, and so it's starting to get up into the 50s. So
Yeah.
maybe we're getting out of the frozen tundra that we've had over the last couple of weeks. No, not much ice left on the roads. So but yeah, and that was probably, I don't know, it's been about a couple months since I've been on the show, and so but yeah, that was a mess.
And here it is, January.
February.
Yeah. I mean, the end of January is
exactly.
already February for sure. So yes, time is definitely flying for sure on that. You know, so we talked about that. The other thing, in spirit of the tech inspection, with the race event, I've got a couple of questions that I'm going to ask the viewers, but then also we can talk about it as well.
Okay.
So, you know, I don't think the automotive manufacturers, when the automobiles were first coming out, they really probably didn't have any intent of people racing. Like that wasn't the design. I mean, until the second car was made,
probably,
and then that's when racing was born.
Yeah,
would be my assumption. Or same with you know, pre automobiles. Talk about horses. Yeah. Till the second horse came around, and then there was a my horse is faster than your horse. Yeah. So on and on and on. So then I got to thinking of scenarios in the racing environment. And again, we're not on any of the racing channels today, but I did think that this would be a good topic as well. So how about 2-man race teams?
Okay.
So in the scenarios that I have of 2-man race teams, I want you to pick which guy you want to be in the 2-man race team.
I'm going to be your passenger all day long and twice.
The passenger?
Yes.
Okay. See, so I could not be a passenger. So I've
seen you drive. There's a reason why I'm the passenger. I'm going to close my eyes the entire time and hold on for dear life.
But in the scenarios that I have, I think the passenger or the second person probably plays just as big as role as what the driver is technically. So in the first example I have for you guys is sidecar motorcycle racing. So we're going to play this video. There's not going to be any audio to this video. So we're going to kind of go over it and look at it, but we'll get it up here. And then
Yeah, I'm a little guy. I could probably maneuver around that thing and shift my weight and try to help out as much as possible.
So.
Yeah, and I've seen you clear a parking lot faster than anybody I've ever seen before, so I trust your driving skills.
Gotcha. So that's one scenario of kind of driver passenger thing.
Yeah.
And for me, definitely, I've got to be the driver in that scenario. I think.
I know.
But you lose your counterweight and. Like he's as equally important as the driver.
Sure.
But you lose your counterweight and where you at.
Yeah.
That would be absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
So that's one scenario. And I was trying to think of a couple more. I've got a couple more to share.
Other ones I thought it was like a rally car.
Okay.
Right. Like, cause then you're the passenger guy is just the navigator. You know what I mean? Like he's legitimately sitting there knowing every square inch of that track and you kind of have responsibility for that too. But he's kind of just along for the ride, but he's giving you a heads up, and stuff like that.
So that is exactly where I'm headed. Just a second. But this whole time, this rally car driver is and again, if you're with us, you got to be viewing this to be able to see some of this stuff. But if you're the spectator in the crowd watching, and then the driver can't even, he's so focused on what the navigator's trying to tell him, he can't even see the guy that's standing in front of him. That would be a high stress environment for me, for sure.
Being a spectator at some of those things, and they're ridiculously close to the streets whenever they're there, and these guys are going 120, 130 miles an hour and catching air, and they're no kidding, 3 yards away. No, I'm out. No thanks.
Absolutely crazy for sure. So, hey, 316-462-3673. Got a couple topics of discussion here for you this morning on really kind of off the wall, but then also if you want to talk about anything automotive, we're here to do that as well. So, it's as you said before, in January we had some really cold weather, and that brings out a lot of different service needs and things for vehicles. Maybe not different, but just a more abundance of them. I would say, when things are cold, they break.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
And then also, in the heat of the summer, they have a tendency to break a lot as well, or for sure.
Yeah, and in Kansas, we get the extremes of both temperatures, and so we've got the fluctuation of temperature just overnight in so many situations, which is actually detrimental to a lot of things, like tire pressure and things like that, overnight. But I'd say probably one of the more common calls that I got over this last couple of weeks, maybe month, but is heaters not blowing hot and things like that, especially after we just had all this cold weather. And I would say 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, it was because there was a coolant leak that wasn't being monitored, and then it ended up leaking out all the coolant, and nothing's going through the heater core at that point, and so you're not getting any heat.
Well, so a couple of things to that. So I would say a lot of times no heat, couple things like you said is low coolant, but then the second would be a thermostat,
or something like that.
So on no heat and low coolant in cold temperatures, that may be the first actual symptom that you see if you don't see coolant on the ground or puddled anywhere, because the car itself could potentially operate in these colder temperatures low on coolant, and you wouldn't have an overheating concern or anything going on with the engine, or any visible signs of gauges or anything like that would indicate there's an issue or a problem.
Well, then you got temperature blend door actuators getting stuck and things like that. It's just over this last month, it was kind of shocking, because obviously we see a lot of stuff at this place, but I was kind of shocked because a lot of the cars we hadn't seen in quite a while. They were getting serviced elsewhere, and obviously this coolant leak had been happening over a long period of time, because it was a very small coolant leak that was so slow that they had no idea, but wherever they were taking it, obviously wasn't topping off coolant or something like that. So it could have been something that could have easily been found and taken care of, especially when it was so cold. And you're at a stoplight and it just stops blowing hot air and starts blowing cold air, and it's like, ugh, that's tough.
Well, that was going to be one of my other things that I was going to say as well, is because, the temperatures that we're experiencing, or we were experiencing when
Yeah.
it's extremely cold, had it been 20 degrees warmer, like a heater that is functioning at 70%,
Mm-hmm.
would have never have known that there
Yeah.
was a problem. But when it gets extremely cold and
Yeah.
you need it to operate at 100%, then yeah, it
Yeah.
certainly could be an issue. So,
Yep.
hey, let's go to the phone and talk to Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson, you're live with Under the Hood. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Can you hear
morning.
me?
Yep.
Hi, Scotty.
How you been, buddy?
Doing good, doing good.
Good.
So a while back, on my wife's got a '03 F-150, and I like to use the tilt steering wheel on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed um, the right turn signal starts flashing real fast. You can hear the flasher clicking real fast.
Yeah.
When you tilt the steering wheel to the lowest two positions, and naturally that's where I like to have the steering wheel. So it's it's a little bit awkward having it raised up. But what would cause something like that, and is that something worth repairing?
So
Because the advice I got was just leave the steering wheel up, don't tilt it down.
yeah.
So, yeah, a couple things that I guess I have for that is one, it's an F-150. What year is it?
03.
03. Yeah. Okay. So there's what they call a multifunction switch inside of that steering column, and that multifunction switch does a lot of different things. So essentially, your brake lights and your turn signals in the rear of the vehicle are shared by the same circuitry, and that is that goes up through the center of the steering column, and there's a turn signal cam in there that obviously, when you turn your blinker on and then you rotate the steering wheel, it'll rotate it through it and then cancel it. So there's some mechanisms in there with a wiring harness. And what's happening is when you're tilting the wheel, it's actually just kind of repositioning those wires. And I'm sure because of the age and heat cycles and stuff that have been on that, it's just a matter of being brittle. A couple of things that it needs to be fixed. And the main reason why is because you're talking about electrical and the potential of, it shorting out or crossing circuits and things like that. And you could add a lot of money to a repair later on down the road if it were to short out some other circuits and stuff like that. Now, granted, everything is fuse protected and shouldn't be an issue, but seen a lot of weird scenarios or issues with that long term if it goes unattended.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can move the column and get it to do it and get it to not, I would definitely leave it to where where it's not.
Yeah.
In the meantime, until it does get attended to or fixed.
Yeah. And the technician that you like working on that truck, he would love to fix stuff like that. He loves electrical stuff like that, and so yeah,
Cool.
he would enjoy it.
I mean, that was a thought I had, was maybe the wiring harness, one of the wires, just got overflexed and separated.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if that was like a complete wire harness, or if you could isolate the specific wire.
Yeah, the part, so it's one part, and then it has a short amount of harness that's attached to it that runs kind of through the column, and then there's a connector at the base of the column for it. So in retrospects of repairs, it's certainly not extremely expensive, but also, like, there is a little bit, it's a little labor intensive as far as being able to
Sure.
get to it,
Yeah.
and, get the column
Mhm.
apart and stuff like that. But you know,
Yeah. But you know, when he gets in there and he actually sees that harness and he can see what could potentially be the case, you know, that may be one symptom that it has right now, but it could develop into other stuff too.
unavoided, you're going to have additional issues. with it,
Exactly. And so, and he'll obviously look at that stuff when he's in there, but yeah, I total confidence that that's definitely something that is within reason to take care of.
And
No,
I think should be addressed.
yeah.
I'm glad I asked. You know.
Yeah. Well, then, heck, I'll give you a call. I'll give you a call after the show, and we'll figure something out.
Right, because well, I think that's due for service.
Due for
anyways.
service as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So, did you happen to see the videos here beforehand?
You know,
It's okay if you didn't.
actually I cast it to the TV because I usually watch this stuff on the cell phone.
Oh,
I was a
gotcha.
little too small.
Okay.
Well, I saw those motorcycles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
So if you're on a motorcycle with a sidecar, which one? Well, are you the driver or the sidecar guy?
you know, I heard your discussion about that, but I'm probably the type of person that wants to be in control.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would.
I think maybe both of you guys have had experience with spouses.
Oh, I think of a husband and wife like that.
Yeah.
Do a husband and wife event on something like
Do
that.
you want to drive?
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, I can hear Debbie right now directing what direction you need to go.
And then the rally car portion of that. Would you be the driver or would you be the navigator?
That one there is really fascinating to me. The pace of the course.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Those turns, you know, that come out of nowhere. And
Well, and then you see you see some of them cars come up over jumps
Yeah.
and they're like 3 or 4 foot in the
Yeah,
air,
they're
and
off
then
the
they
ground.
need to turn, and it's like
man,
not going
I
to do that in
know
the
it.
air. So
I don't know. I think the
if
RS.
somebody tells me what to do, I can do it. You know,
Yeah.
but I don't know if I could react fast enough to be the navigator on something.
Oh, come on. I think the RS can take it.
Well, the car can take it, but I want to be driving.
so it's safe to say, I think the three of us in all in both cases, we're good with being the spectators in the stands.
Yeah,
on
pretty
something like
much.
that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, very good. Hey, thank you for the call, and Scotty will reach out to you to get that truck in here and get your turn signal deal fixed. So, okay.
I appreciate it.
You
Have
bet.
a good day.
You
Perfect.
too.
You
You
too.
too. Take care.
Thanks. Bye. Hey, 316-462-3673. That's the number to jump on the air here with us and talk about anything automotive. So if you got an issue like Mr. Wilson was having there, we can try to help you out and get you squared away with it or point it in the right direction for sure. Or if you want to weigh in on our driver, co-pilot, navigator discussion, I don't know. I'm just, I guess I'm for sure in control in both situations as much as I can be, for sure.
So. Oh, it depends on who's driving the motorcycle.
Well,
you see what I'm saying? Like I trust you in that particular scenario. If it were me and you,
yeah.
I mean, if it's me and my wife, absolutely not. But you know.
Yeah, I think of events like doing a husband and wife race on one of those. That would not turn out good.
No. I mean, I gotta say though, like when we go on road trips, I gotta say it's very enjoyable for us. I don't know why.
So on the road trip, are you the driver or the navigator?
Come on,
okay,
man.
all right.
But no, we go to Angel Fire, New Mexico every year to go skiing, and that's coming up at the end of this month. And it's an 8-hour drive through the worst drive ever. There is
just
nothing.
Yeah.
And we make the best of it. And but yeah, I guess like I could never not be the driver in that scenario. Going through mountains and stuff. No.
Always like so typically driving, right? But always like hey, you needed to turn back there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you noticed what you're saying, but it's back there and we're up here. So yes.
She's not bad of a side seat driver. She's not. She's just the one. Whenever I accelerate fast and brake fast, she grabs a hold of stuff really quick or something like that. Yeah,
maybe over animated. I
Yeah.
think is what we
Yeah,
call that
exactly.
for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway.
well, very good. Hey, call in, share your story about passengers passengers navigating for you, or you're the passenger that navigates, and you got a driver that doesn't that doesn't work. You know, I can't imagine. I think back now, and I'm old enough that I had an atlas. You know,
Yeah.
I had
The road maps.
a road map,
Yeah.
and you had it folded out there, and now we have the technology and navigation and our phone and like
And the vehicle.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just I don't know. I can remember planning out road trips across
Yeah.
states and going from state to state, and
Yeah.
the ease of, or the convenience of
Yeah.
where we've came is absolutely crazy.
I was right at the crack of that break. I remember using road maps to go on long trips, and then they had something that came out on the internet called MapQuest, where you could put in your destination from where you were going.
Give you turn by
And
turn directions.
you would print out the turn-by-turn directions, and there was
Yeah.
that. And then, oh my God, this Garmin thing came out.
Well, so TomTom,
Or TomTom.
I think was probably
Yeah.
or Bill or
I haven't heard of that.
yeah, there wasn't
TomTom.
one. Yeah,
Remember when those came out and you had this big thing on your dash that was basically a tube TV of telling you
Yeah.
where to go?
yeah. So for sure that is you know, and the directions that you printed out or you wrote down were great until
Yeah,
you missed something or you
follow
weren't
through.
somewhere,
Yeah.
and then now you got to turn around and find out where that was. And so, hey, 316-462-3673, that's the number to jump on the air here with us and tell us about your navigation story.
That's actually pretty good. I like that one. You ever been lost? Like seriously lost?
You know, no. Yeah, I mean, you obviously made a wrong turn or went the wrong way, or maybe drove a couple miles out of direction one way or the other. Probably the one I remember most as a kid is we were sleeping in the car, coming. We were coming from somewhere in Missouri along I-70 and missed the turnoff in Salina and almost made it to the state line before my folks realized, hey, I mean, it was probably maybe haze, I don't know, but even still, it was. I remember it being a couple of hours out of the way of where we were going and where we were heading. But again, no maps, no navigation, no just hey, this, that, or the other. And so I don't remember. I think maybe my mom was driving and my dad was kind of helping give directions, and he had fell asleep. And then when he woke up, he's like, this is not where we're going. But yeah, I think there's a lot of value in getting lost, you know,
Sure.
and just finding things off the beaten path and all that stuff. So and then the other side of it, growing up around Kansas, where everything is 4 square miles, or a square mile. Like, you miss the stern one way, you go a couple miles the other way, and you intersect with where you wanted to go.
And everything is north, south, east, west. Everything is square and everything like that. So you can always get back to where you.
Now you get to other states and other terrain and stuff like that. I'm sure it's way easier to make that happen.
Yeah, I've never been lost like what you had in my memory, but recently I got trapped because I missed a turn in Tulsa for probably 20-30 minutes trying to turn around on the highway because I couldn't, and it was rush hour traffic, so it was it was mess. But
and I don't I just again, going back to the advancements in technology and having everything available at your fingertips, whether it's
I had GPS going, Josh. It didn't matter. I couldn't do it.
Direction from a phone or getting it instantly on the vehicle, for sure. It's one of those things. So
this was like 3 weeks ago. This was it was that recent. So, but anyway.
Very good. Hey, let's go back, and we talked about a couple of different things this morning related to vehicles and temperature and stuff like that. I wanted to touch on nitrogen. Was one of the biggest things. We haven't given nitrogen really a whole lot of love on the show in quite a while, and it's just especially when you get into this time of year and
Yeah,
you
this is the
see
perfect time right
temperature
now.
changes and fluctuations and stuff like that. Like, talk to me about what that does for a consumer and why it's important to have it.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up because this is the perfect time to talk about it. Right now, we're talking about, during the day it's going to get 50 degrees, but at night it's going to get down into the 20s. Whenever you have that temperature fluctuation regular air has a lot of nitrogen in it, but whenever your tires have pure nitrogen in it, when they're like, I think what we can get to like 97%, somewhere around there,
Yeah.
You don't have that tire pressure fluctuation as opposed to if you have regular air is like what, 60?
So 78%.
78%.
Yeah, 78% of just air you breathe has nitrogen. 78% of nitrogen in it, and then we can get to 96%. That's a little 96 point blank, percentage of nitrogen is where we get, and that it does make a difference. But you take a regular compressed air tire, and when you get a 30, 40, 50 degree temperature swing, and then you add the heat that's generated on that tire as you're driving down the road and the temperature swing that brings to the table. I mean, I've seen just in a 33, 34 psi tire, I've seen 7, 8, 9 psi difference in that tire cold versus operating temperature going down the road.
Well, and the other thing is and we try to bring it up at least every time that I come on, but tire pressure is your contact with the road. There is so many things that depend on having the correct tire pressure. You got fuel economy, braking,
performance,
turning, everything.
Handling,
everything is in relation to your contact with the road. And so it is very imperative to have the correct tire pressure for that vehicle to be operating as it's designed.
And I would say, with the obviously invention of the tire pressure monitoring systems and stuff like that, they have, we talk about technology and navigation and stuff like that. Tire pressure monitoring systems have evolved so much from where they started out with years ago, and are so much more reliable. But also, just because the tires are within range doesn't mean that you're still getting the most benefit out of them. Right. So you can have, because of the fluctuation in tire pressures and stuff like that, those monitoring systems will give you typically a 6 to 7 psi range. This tire can be different than this tire, and so forth and so on. And in doing that, like, it affects fuel economy, it affects performance, it affects longevity of the duration of the life of the tire. And it is a minuscule difference, but it's a difference,
right? And it's the lower threshold too. Like, if you put the tire, there are still people that put the PSI that's on the side of the tire in their tires for their vehicle, which is incorrect. Do not do that. There's a placard on the inside of the driver door that tells you what the correct PSI is for. That's what needs to be in the tires. But if somebody puts, if the vehicle's rated for 35 psi, you can put all of the tires at like 45 psi, and there won't be a light on the car. So you can do that, but you obviously shouldn't. So,
well, and it when the manufacturer puts that placard on there, along with pressures, there's size, fitment, there's speed rating, there's load rating, and anytime you waver from that or differ from that, like, you're becoming basically an experimental,
you're compromising things on the vehicle.
Now, can it be done? Certainly it can be done, but it's going to change the dynamics, the handling characteristics, the how that car was meant to stop, how it was meant to handle in turning,
and your tires are going to prematurely wear.
Sure.
That's another thing. Tires are expensive nowadays.
It's
you underinflate them. The outside edges of the tires wear quicker than the center. If you overinflate them, the center gets bald before the outsides do. And you can tell a lot by, especially, doing this for as long as we have. We've seen some stuff on how tires wear, and a lot of it has to do with tire pressure too.
I've seen a lot of people have to prematurely replace tires that they could have got more life out
Oh,
of
yeah.
by improper inflation for sure. Improper maintenance,
Yeah.
is another thing for sure. And I get it. It's just a matter of I'm busy, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'll do that later. I'll do that later. I'll do that later. Well, later turns into 50,000 miles, and 50,000 miles is too late.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a lot of times I think what we run into or what
Yeah.
we see is just had good intentions. It just
Oh, yeah.
didn't execute.
Yeah, and every single time we do the works package, we rotate the tires and do that every 5,000. That gets the most life out of tires. Generally, the front tires wear out faster than the back tires do. That's just kind of way vehicles are. And then you have all of these all-wheel drive vehicles nowadays that if you don't rotate tires, then you have tires that are worn out on the front that have a different diameter than the tires on the rear, and then you got all kinds of other problems that could happen for the transmission and stuff like that. So it's yeah.
Well, I think on the all-wheel drive side of things, definitely starting to see more and more of that with the kind of everybody moving towards the SUV type, vehicle, and the passenger car kind of going away a little bit. You definitely see a lot more and more all-wheel drives or four-wheel drives for that matter.
Yeah.
And the thing that I really like the most about what we have to offer for tires for our consumers that we deal with on a daily basis is just the number of options that we have.
Yeah.
Right. Like you go to a tire store and you may have one or two options. And what's that consumer really need? And that's the investigative part of purchasing tires is so important because you don't want to buy a 80,000-90,000 mile treadwear tire and then you drive the vehicle 6,000-7,000 miles a year, right?
That's
you're overbuying a tire or vice versa.
Yeah.
If you're on the highway all the time and or if you're more not on the highway, more on rural roads, stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions that need to be answered before you just go and purchase a set of tires. So.
Right.
Well, hey, 316-462-3673. That's the number to jump on the air here with us, and we'll talk anything automotive for sure. So, what else you got on your list there, Scotty?
Well, I actually got a phone call 2 days ago from the very first automotive manager that hired me, and he wanted to let me know that I have now been doing automotive or been in the automotive industry for 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
20 years I've been doing it. Seen some cool stuff.
I will say that this industry as a whole is, so I have the opportunity to go around and talk to a lot of the vocational schools and high schools and stuff like that about the automotive industry. And it's, it draws you in. Every day is something different. You never run into the same thing twice for the most part. You know? And it's just with the changes in technology and vehicles, there's always something new and coming and a different way to kind of do things or
it's interesting. Like it really does grab you once you start understanding how everything works. It becomes kind of an addiction to where you're I don't know. I don't want to say obviously that I haven't. I still need to learn stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know everything. But yeah, when you've got to that point, you've seen a lot of really cool stuff, and I don't know. It's so much fun.
We have we talk about that a lot on the show as well as in regards to just training in general and always needing to learn new technology, new things. If you're in this industry and you don't have that desire, you don't keep up with changes or how things evolve, it will leave you in the dust for sure. And I'm again always excited to see what the next thing is that comes out and where we're going to head or where we're going to go and stuff like that.
Yeah, your eyes light up when you get you see a new equipment to work on vehicles that we get in the shop or something like that. It's like, yeah, we got some cool stuff that we can do, and it's pretty neat.
Well, and I'm mainly about taking care of the customer to the best of our ability and having the right tools and equipment. And I just don't know how an aftermarket shop could keep up with that.
There are still companies that are using regular spin balancers for tires.
or to think of doing this and the struggles that it would take to do this without the right tools and equipment
Yeah.
is it's crazy. It's
Yeah.
absolutely crazy.
Remember the bubble to balance a tire?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's like that Road Alice. You know, it's gone.
It's
right?
gone. Yeah.
It's gone. It's time to get into the 21st century if
Yep.
you're still using one of those.
Yep.
You're not doing a very good, a very just job for the customer.
No, but
that aspect for sure.
It's crazy. It's crazy how technology is coming. We now we have drive-on machines where you can check the alignment that reads the tread depths of your tires that we have on our service drives that people drive over and we see. So it's pretty neat. Especially when I think back to where I started and how crazy it's how technologically advanced it's got from where I came from. And I've been here for 12 and a half years.
Yeah.
And it's pretty nuts how the improvements have happened. And the cool thing is it's all directed to take care of people and take care of customers and everything like that. And sometimes even if they don't know the technology and you do, you're like, man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think we experience that a lot with the e-vehicle customers.
Yeah.
Right. Like they were extremely knowledgeable about the tech and what the vehicle had to offer.
The
Especially
customer
when
is.
Yeah. Especially when it very first came out, stuff like that. And again, that's a perfect example of a learning curve.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So, hey, let's go to the phones. Let's talk to Bill. Good morning, Bill. You're on live with Under the Hood.
Morning, Josh. How you doing?
Doing good.
Got a question for you.
Okay.
We noticed that when it was icy, our 17 Explorer, one of the wheel sensor air pressure lights was getting a sensor fault.
Mm-hmm.
Is that common? I've never experienced that before on that car. I just wondered if I got a sensor laying down or if it's.
Yeah. So what I would say would be happening, and again, we would need to look at it to confirm, but there is a battery in each one of those sensors that does have a life expectancy to it. And typically with a battery in cold weather, it's going to be take more energy to do its job for sure.
Okay.
And so what I would wonder is if the battery wasn't starting to get weak in one of the sensors and causing that issue to happen. Most likely the repair would be to replace that sensor and then reprogram the tire pressure.
It'd be better to replace all four of them, though, wouldn't it?
No.
So that's
So, and there's my opinion, I guess, on this. The average life of tire pressure sensors, at least that I've been taught, has always been anywhere from like 7 to 8 years is kind of average. But then you also have some tire pressure sensors that will last a lot longer than that, and some a little bit shorter than that. But if you wanted to replace all of them, sure, you definitely can do that. But you may have a sensor that'll last another 3 years that you don't have to, but if you'd like to, you could.
Yeah. So for me, that's a matter of convenience, right? So if I'm doing it, I'm probably going to put all of them on at one time, or when I change tires. So I don't know how close you are to that or where you're at there, but
we're at 90,000 right now on the car.
Well, I mean, as far as like
how much tread does your tires have on them? If you're getting ready to
replace the tires I just put on last April.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Michelin Defender 2s.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've got a ways still yet on the tires for it. So
yeah.
But if your tires were really low on tread and you were getting ready to replace them here in the next couple of months, then you would probably plan on not only replacing the tires, but then if you got a sensor that's laying down, you might as well replace all of the sensors when you're in there because there's no overlap in labor, or there's overlap in labor.
Well, and for me, it's a convenience factor.
Yeah,
right?
that's
so I don't have to come.
Yeah.
Don't.
That's what I was wondering. It's convenient to replace all four since they're going to be up on the rack. And,
yeah.
Right.
So there's definitely that aspect, and I would assume that's probably what's going on with that thing, Bill. But we can take a look at that thing. And
okay, I was thinking. I got to thinking. I knocked a bunch of ice off of the wheels that we were driving pretty up north and some pretty rough stuff with it. And I was just wondering maybe because I was getting quite a bit of ice packed in the back of the wheels.
Yeah, I don't. That really shouldn't have an effect on it. I think the cold temperatures is probably going to be
Okay.
more the reasoning why. But with that sensor actually isolated inside the tire and stuff like that, it should be dry.
Okay.
There could be a possibility that you got some wet air in there, but for the most part, it should be dry in there.
Yeah.
So okay.
Okay, so I'll get it up there and have you guys look at it.
Sure.
And you can pinpoint which one it is? Or?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
The technology they have now, the scan tools that they have now, they can actually go up to the tire sensor, I think, on some of them, and they can actually see how much the battery life has in the sensors in them, too.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So, well, very good. Thanks for the questions and the comments there this morning, Bill.
Hey,
And,
Bill, if you're going on a road trip, are you driving or are you letting your wife drive?
Both.
Both. You swap?
Have you ever been misnavigated or misnavigated somebody?
Oh, she misnavigates all the time. we were going somewhere the other day. I don't remember, here locally, and I asked her. I said, "Where the heck are you going?" Because it was, we were about a quarter of a mile from where we needed to be at, and she was still in the middle lane, not in the turn lane. So we need to make a right-hand turn. I said, "No, we got to turn up here." She's like, "I don't know where I'm going." That's obvious. So.
All right. Well, thanks, Bill.
Yeah, thanks for the comments and the call, Bill.
Oh, hey, I got one other question for you real quick, too.
Yep.
Shoot.
Was kind of seeing some stuff. I don't know if it's just somebody's dream, but I've been seeing some concepts for the Torino to return.
So I've heard a couple of different things about some concepts out. I have nothing through that I know of that it's going to come out, but I've heard a couple of concepts through Ford, and then I've also heard a couple of concepts through Chevrolet as well. Again, man, it's so hard this day and age to tell what's going to happen, what's not going to happen from that aspect. But as far as
I know they're looking at. I know right now it looks like the 4-door Mustang is going to be reality here probably next year.
Yeah, I would. I don't know. I think, and this is just my opinion, I have nothing statistically to back this up with, but I really do think that we've got to. Ford has got to produce some sort of passenger car like vehicle for sure. What that looks like or what that is, I don't know. But yeah, I would say that they've got a lot invested in the Mustang and then the Mustang Mach-E and stuff like that. And so I can see them expanding on that portfolio just out of logistics and common sense. But it's hard to say. So
the Torino concept was pretty sharp looking. It looked like they just kind of combined kind of took some of the lines off the Mustang, off the 550 body style, and put it into it. So
and put it on there, right?
Yeah.
And
it looked pretty darn sharp for Torino. So
no, it will be it'll be very interesting, and that's what we were talking about, a little earlier in the show, is that there's always something coming.
Yeah.
There's always a change. There's always a new model line. There's always and so it will be exciting to see what's the next thing.
Yep,
for sure.
For sure.
All right. Well, sounds good, guys. You guys have a good weekend.
Hey, you too.
Appreciate it. Well, and I'll get out there to get that schedule for that sensor and see what's going on. So
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Have
Thanks,
a good
sir.
one.
All right. Thank you.
You bet.
Bye. Hey, I think let's go through and kind of do a recap here.
Yeah.
And call this. But hey, thanks for all the loyal listeners. Thanks for all the comments on the chat line this morning, today, and hanging out with us. It was a fun show for sure. Whether you're the navigator or the driver, you both hopefully get there safely. That's the
whole point.
The main thing for sure. So, hey, I'd like to thank the sponsors that help this show happen each and every week with us. But that's going to be Big Corner Creative for all your marketing and advertising needs. Big Corner, they've they've got a great crew over there. But whether it's window tint, race car wraps, there's something marketing or advertisement that you need to do, they can certainly help you with that. Go to rent. It's hard to believe that we're now approaching, or summer is going to be here before too long.
Yeah.
If you need a larger vehicle to go on a summer trip or summer vacation, spring break is right around the corner.
Yep.
So if you need something to take a spring break trip, whether it's fuel efficiency or more room, Stan's got a great fleet of vehicles over there to help you out with that. And then BG Products, all the great preventative maintenance products that we have and offer right here inside Mel Hambelton Ford for BG. They're a great partnership of ours, and they do a phenomenal job in the research and development. And we're very, very proud to honor or to have their products available for our consumers as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scotty, hey, I greatly appreciate you hanging
bet.
out with me this hour. It's been a lot of fun. Again, thank all the loyal listeners, and we will talk to you next Saturday.